Hey, how's everybody doing? And welcome to the Monetary Innovators live forecast session for the coming week. So we'll be forecasting for basically the last week of June. It's the 6th and today's the 25th. So we're looking to see markets open tomorrow on the 26th. So the 26th markets will be opening in roughly about um yeah, in roughly about 6 hours. Yeah, in roughly about 6 hours, we'll be having our first Asian session for the coming week. So what I also like doing is that I also have a watch list, which I also keep monitoring whatever that it is I want to trade. So I usually just check on all the pairs, and I check what has been going on as well. So in this market here, I see that there's an order block and there's been a lot of rejection on this order block. It looks like it's been holding properly. As you know, I usually just trade on the five-minute chart, so I'll be looking for basically scalp entries into the coming week. So there's been a lot of rejection on this side. There's a lot of rejection, pinning in, but we can see that the market is holding this area here. And it seems that we have left it on a bit of a selling note. It looks like the market is trying to sell in order to come collect on this area. So if we just go on the 60-minute, we can see that there's a huge imbalance on the side. And we can see that it's holding firmly here. So which can mean either one or two things. One, there's not enough liquidity no, there's not enough momentum in this market for it to come and fill up this whole entire gap. Or two, there's not enough liquidity to be collected here. So the market has not yet moved on to that area. So we've gotten two confirmations of this order block. And now we can see that the market is basically moving on a trend. So the market is moving on a trend. So into the morning market, I would expect for it to come, activate some orders and go up to test this trend. Whether it breaks or not, I will just depend upon the day. But this is actually a nice zone for us to be looking for entries. So I'm gonna mark this as one of the charts I'm willing to trade. Let me just remove that. So I like going to alerts so that I'll be able to basically just see just to see when they will notify me that prices has mitigated. So we're just gonna set it by 1212699.4. So that's where we're gonna create our limit. We're gonna create our alert for this chart. So already on the GBP, we're looking to just scalp a quick buy on here. So just also leave the setup, as I'm also seeing a support and resistance forming. I'll be looking to take it from here to there. So it's just a quick scalp. Stop loss below here. So depending on the reaction, I may enter here, I may enter there, just depending as well. So so here I'm looking at GBPAUD, and I'm also seeing that there's a nice order block that needs to be tested, and there's a higher point where actually it hasn't been tested. So in this instance, the nice thing would be to wait for it to come to this order block or either reach this higher point. So when the market is really in the middle, and it really is not giving any indication, we can see that there's a lot of liquidity on this downside. And the market has rose, but there's still also a higher order on the hour. So this market can still open and be bullish until this level here. So for instance, like I said, this is actually a nice order, and then there's basically 2 points which we are looking at. So what would be nice is actually a quick, I'm looking to sculpt this area here. So this can also be a nice entry till here. If the market does open and the bears take it over and it does reach this point, this will be a very good entry and a good stop. So I'll just add it there. Also, like in this setup, because it's not also the same as the GBP. So the GBP USD. So it will also be nice to see how they both move as well. That's perfect. Let's move on. Same setup as GBP, AUD as well. So this will just be like my confirmation chart, you know. So come and mitigate here. We're seeing a nice rejection on these levels, and for maybe the market to come collect higher up here. For the market just to collect right there, and there will probably be this point of interest, and we're seeing the setup the same way as GA. We're seeing the same setup, so it's no need to get greedy and try to catch same setup on 2 different pairs. So this is GBP, JPY. Really seeing a lot of mixed signals on this chart. I can already tell there's some divergence that is happening here. The market is diverging. We just put on our indicator, RSI, relative strength index, as well. Like every time you're using the RSI, please don't take the default RSI length. Always stick to 50. So we're basically looking to see there's a divergence. Yes, the market is moving down, but it's moving up. So we are actually seeing some divergence here. Divergence is always good for, it's always good, it's a good indication that the market is basically being overinflated. But as we all know, the market will always take the direction of the market, the direction of the RSI of this indicator. So right now the market is moving up, RSI is moving down, giving us very nice and clear confirmations that we are to see a sell after this inflation. So there will be a sell on this market, although not seeing any entry points or anything. So I won't really regard this this pair to be coming, but it will be nice to watch. Just pull that down. I don't really like using the RSI as much. So NZD USD, seeing that there's a nice order here and that it is mitigating a trend above this high swing as it came to fill up this gap and maybe looking to go fill up higher points. So it looks like it's respecting this trend. It's currently respecting this trend, which is beautiful, by the way. But now the thing would be once it opens. So it's just and right now it actually looks so right now on this chart on the 5 minutes, you can see that it's been holding here. This pin tapped into this level, but hasn't actually mitigated. And I saw shoulder, head, and then the market took off, but it's not seemed to be respecting this head and shoulder signal. And it started consolidating on these levels. Once it's consolidating on these levels, we're looking for the market to basically have a break. So as well, it could be a shoulder, head, and another shoulder being mitigated. So it's between two. It's between two. So there could be the head, and then the shoulder could be your head and shoulder. But in most of the case, it looks like it's a head, shoulder, shoulder. So if the market does happen to break, it will most likely come into this level here. But I'm seeing that this trend should be respected. So I'm not really gonna take any entries on NSD USD as of yet, but I will keep looking at it to see if it respects the trend line. And maybe we can get a morning trade in order to mitigate this trend line here. So NZD Chief. I remember I did try and take a trade around here. Oh no, it was just for analyzation purposes. I don't think I ever took a trade last week on this pair. But it actually did end up invalidating. So right now what I'm seeing is that the market is going down to this order block. So that's an order block which I see is very reactive as it already broke through this trend. So the downtrend broke through the uptrend. So it was a very trendy movement throughout this market. And then we see that there's a level here. It broke, retested, so it will continue. As we see, created volume. Once it creates volume, we know once it leaves, it needs to mitigate an order block. So with this market, I'm gonna just wait for it to reach there, and then I'll be able to know based on just price action what is the way forward. But it looks like a very nice chart. Um, like a very nice chart. Okay. USD CAD. Yeah, USD CAD was also up here. I traded on Friday as well with NZ, not NZD, US 100, as every day I actually strive to trade US 100. So we've seen that is by a trend line. And actually I'm feeling that the market will continue until it reaches that level, which is a very which is a good level. But let's just remove this. So the market came back upon here. It's still continuing. My biggest rate is that it will come back to this level. Seems like it disrespected the trend line, and yeah, the market seems to be moving downwards. So this is also another pair which I'll be looking to trade. So I just need to set the level. So guys, trust me, levels is the best thing ever. Instead of actually setting actual limits on your MetaTrader, you get to monitor what exactly is going on. So I mean, we're already seeing four charts. Okay, this will open, probably just mitigate. So this was left on a very high note. Yeah, it's left on a very high note. I'm not really seeing as much of opportunities here. I think I'll only get a clear sign once market opens. USD CAD. Okay. Okay, so I don't see any order blocks in sight in USD CAD as well. And it seems like it's just carrying on to a bigger movement. But in terms of scalping, maybe I will look at USD CAD around these levels, but it's nothing that I'm really feeling very confident on at this point. I can say there might be a support and a resistance forming here. But okay, yeah, no, this market, I'll just monitor this market as time goes. USD ZAR also was left on a bit of a high note. Not liking the PA as well. So US 30 left on a consolidation as well. Okay, I think for most of these, we'll just have to wait until market opens and see where they end up, to be honest. But with those four, I'm pretty much happy. And either way, NASDAQ, I usually just trade it on a four after, yeah, New York session at four, because there's not really much liquidity between then. So yeah, it seems like those would be the markets that I'm looking at, to be honest. Yes, and this PA was very aggressive. Yeah. Yeah, I think those, I'll be just looking at those pairs on a Monday. I think the rest, they'll just develop. They'll just develop. US 100. Yes, they'll just develop. Actually on US 100, my main, yeah, as I remember, I'm looking to actually go bullish on this level. So yeah, let's actually add that. Looking to go bullish there around here. Yes. So I'm looking to go bullish. Bulls info 8-3. Perfect. So I'm looking to go bull once it breaks this level here. Once it reaches there, I'll be very happy. in order to either break this trend or collect the orders that are still here. So yeah, I think these are the five markets I'll be looking at: US 100, US CHIF, NZD CHIF, GBP AUD, GBP USD. So majority American, as usual. I just have two, actually one exotic, and then a GBP AUD. So yeah, I think with just those five, we'll be able to start off our Monday correctly. Start off our Monday correctly, and yeah, we'll see just how it goes from there. So hopefully you guys will get to get to have your chance and the get to have these markets moving the right way. So just remember, place your limits, not your limits, place your alert. I always advise people to work on an execution base. Just always work on an execution base. Set alerts, and once those alerts trigger, you get to CPA. I mean, I also send signals on the group chat, Monetary Innovators Trading Community. So yeah, until then, hope the markets treat you good.